Welcome to the finish line at Arapahoe Park. I'm Jonathan Horowitz. One of the oldest horse race meets in the world is taking place this week. Royal Ascot from Ascot Racecourse just outside of London, England. Queen Anne of England started Royal Ascot in 1711. Today, the race meet attracts some of the best horses from around the world. In addition to the top English horses, there's a big contingency of American horses going overseas, as well as top-level horses from the rest of Europe, Australia, and Asia. So horse racing, one of the most global and oldest sports in the world, and let's take a closer look at its history. The history of horse racing dates back to chariot races that were held at the first ancient Greek Olympic Games in 776 BCE. 2 centuries later, horses with riders on their back started racing at the Olympics. Chariot races took place before as many as 200,000 spectators at the oval-shaped Circus Maximus track in Rome. Teams of chariots, usually made up of 4 horses and a brave driver standing behind, represented red, white, blue, and green stables, and made 7 laps of the track, about 2,000 feet long and 150 feet wide, in ferociously run races. Modern horse racing traces its origins back to the reign of King Henry VIII of England, and was popularized by Queen Anne in the 18th century. Queen Anne organized the inaugural Royal Ascot meeting that celebrated its 300th anniversary in 2011 and is attended annually by England's reigning monarch.
Britain's royal family arrives in style for England's swankiest race meet. Gray toppers are everywhere as society parades in its best bib and tucker. The Queen is the center of attraction until the races start. Only a moment left for the King to pick a winner.
Horse racing's long association with royalty and the upper classes has led to the appellation the Sport of Kings. This week, horse racing fans can relive this history and a famous scene from the 1965 Oscar Best Picture My Fair Lady at Royal Ascot. The royalty, the pageantry, the lavish hats and dresses for ladies, the top hats and morning dress for gentlemen, and some of the best racehorses in the world. Royal Ascot also has a magnetism for Americans. After capturing the Triple Crown in 1935, Omaha raced in the Ascot Gold Cup at Royal Ascot in 1936.
And away they go. A staggering test.
Over a grueling 2.5 miles on an undulating course in the opposite direction of American racing, Omaha came up just a no short. In the 21st century, Queen Elizabeth II of England is an avid racing fan, owner, and breeder. In 2013, the Queen's Estimate carried the Royal Purple Silks with red sleeves to become the first horse owned by a reigning English monarch to win the Ascot Gold Cup in the 207-year history of the race.
Colour Vision has taken the lead as they approach the closing stages. Estimate is trying to join him. Simenon, the purple jacket, down the centre now. And behind those trying to come through, the Challenger's Top Trip into the closing stages. Estimate and Simenon. Top Trip trying to get on terms between those. Estimate, the red sleeve jacket. Simenon on the outside, racing the water line. It's a happy and glorious day at Royal Ascot. Estimate has won the Gold Cup for the Queen.
It was a moment of seldom seen raw emotion from Her Majesty. The 2016 Royal Ascot races from June 14th to June 18th are broadcast in the United States each morning, showing a mix of quintessentially British tradition and how truly global a sport horse racing is.
And they're off for the Diamond Jubilee Stakes.
The 2015 Diamond Jubilee, a race named for Queen Elizabeth II's 60th year on the English throne, was won by the American horse Undrafted, owned by former New England Patriots and Denver Broncos wide receiver Wes Welker, and ridden by Italian jockey Frankie Dettori.
Down towards the final throw on the Diamond Jubilee, and it's Brazen Bow for Australia on the near side. Here goes Frankie on Undrafted on the far side from a Stereo Music Master. Undrafted, Brazen Bow towards the near side, trying to pick him back. Undrafted wins the Diamond Jubilee under Frankie.
Nighthawk Ranch. Nighthawk Ranch is located in Guffey, Colorado, and we buy Mustangs from the BLM and we train them for use with these kids that are recovering from cancer. It's like a team from day one, with the kid and the horse. And they feel really comfortable, they feel safe on the horse, they feel a part of the horse, they feel part of the program. And it's a bond they don't experience a lot in their lives.
So the kids have their own horse for the week, learn to ride if they haven't ridden before. We spend a lot of time with animals in the morning, and then in the afternoons we have more camping events, archery, ropes course, building a log cabin, camping out overnight, a little bit of everything.
I have a lot of cancer in my family. I'm a cancer survivor, and we believe that Nighthawk Ranch has a lot of natural healing on its own. It was a great healing force in my life, and we believe that sharing that with these kids, that's important. So clean air, clean food, great experience is all positive for these kids for sure in their healing.
The 2016 live horse racing season in Colorado at Arapahoe Park from May 20th to August 14th. Racing takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special holiday racing on Mondays for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Post time for the first race each day is at 1:00 p.m. For more information, visit myhighracing.com and facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing. Arapahoe Park, where horses come first. As we continue our journey around the horse racing world, let's meet a jockey who's ridden all over the world. Kelsey Purcell was the Darley Award winner in 2015 as the top Arabian jockey in the United States and the top female Arabian jockey in the world. I caught up with Kelsey Purcell in Arapahoe Park's jockey room. We're in the behind the scenes at Arapahoe Park in the Jockeys room with jockey Kelsey Purcell. Thank you for joining me, Kelsey, and tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got into riding races.
That's sort of a long story. I'm originally from Western Canada, British Columbia, and I got into riding races because I had been a show jumper, and then my good horse broke down, my sponsor dropped me, and I went to do other jobs, and some people that I'd sold horses to when I was younger found me in a job. And they said, hey, why don't you come get on some race horses, some babies we got. And I said, oh, okay, and I showed up, and I did, and they're like, hey, you look pretty good on one. And so I went to work for some people they knew at the racetrack at Hastings in Vancouver, and it sort of just snowballed from there, where I was ponying, grooming, galloping, whatever they needed me to do, and then I started to work horses, and somebody was like, hey, you should be a jockey, you should try.
When was this?
That was 2003.
And from doing show jumping to riding racing, what's the difference?
Oh, there's a pretty big difference, because in show jumping, your horses, you're using your legs more, and it's just a different realm of riding, like any kind of riding, from barrel racing, show jumping, to your plain stock horse riding. It's quite different. It's different from galloping. Just galloping a horse is different than race riding a horse. It's a different spectrum you're in. So yeah, it's just different.
So we're sitting in here in the jockeys room. Take us through your preparation. First, I guess, from the handicapping, how you're going to prepare to ride the race, to what you do to actually go onto the track.
I come in, I change, I get my helmet covers ready. I don't let my valet do it. It's something I've always done from the very beginning. A lot of people have their valets do it, but I've always got my first races I do. And then I go prayer with Jonathan, or John Shoemaker. We do prayer in the room. And then I come back, and then I look at the form a little bit. I decide if I'm going to throw out the horses all of its last races, or I'm going to look through the other horses and make a completely new plan, or see where he's ran good before. And that's about it.
And then you go to the paddock, and then what conversations do you usually have with the trainer?
It just depends on the horse. Sometimes they'll tell you a lot, and sometimes they won't tell you anything.
Now, you'll have a game plan. You say, oh, I'm going to ride the horse this way because the race might shape up this way. Do you have to ever call an audible on the track like a quarterback?
Yeah, of course, because things can happen in a split second out there. Every decision, when you're riding, you're not just making those decisions going by your plan, because your plan can go out the door right when the gates open. Maybe you're supposed to be on the lead. you're not on the lead anymore, or your horse didn't break good. So then you have to go to your plan B. Or just everything's going wrong and you just have to deal with the situation at hand. And horses, it goes twice as fast out there, but it goes slower in your mind because you're predicting what those horses in front of you are doing, or you're predicting what those horses back. So you're setting a pace or you're sitting off a pace. It all changes the whole, every time it can change, it can be different for that individual horse. And it's funny because it sounds like a lot, but when you're out there, and you've done it enough times, it sort of just comes natural.
And it's all happening with, depending on the breed, the horse going 30 miles an hour
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to talk to the jockeys, tell them where you're coming, make room?
Sometimes, yeah, it just depends. Most of the time it's pretty quiet with the talking. And we get a little funny if we're all just dying at the end and there's a couple like today, I was like, I ran out of gas. I'm on empty now. I was hoping to have a little more in the tank, and that happens too. But yeah.
One of the things that's unique about you is you can ride all three breeds of horses that race at Arapahoe Park: thoroughbreds, quarter horses, Arabians. What does it take to have the skills to do all three breeds?
You just have to be really versatile because the mares don't go as fast as the thoroughbreds. And the quarter horses, it's such a short deal, and keeping them picked up. And it's just, you got to be versatile. But that's where my background of rodeoing and show jumping and just riding since I was a kid makes it pretty, that's what I want to say, it helps you in that. Because you can change your ride to the horse, to what's going on underneath you, because not every horse is the same. You can't do the same ride on every single horse.
Can you describe what that feeling is like when you're on the best horse and everything's going to plan?
Oh, I guess, how would I describe it? It feels like your birthday, and all your friends are partying there. It's good. It's a good feeling. I don't know how to describe it any other way. It's a great feeling. Because if you're competitive, I'm competitive and I love to win, so I love to win.
Which of those horses have given you that feeling the best, the best horses you've ridden?
There's not just one. There's Paddy's Days, obviously, for the Arabs.
The horse of the year for Arabians.
Yeah, he's just an amazing horse, and I'm so thankful that, Scott's given me the opportunity to continue with him and stuff. And he definitely gives you that feeling because he tries 110%. Every time when you ask him, and you have to ask him. Everyone thinks he just goes, but he can be where you need to ask him. But when he's doing it, he's trying. He tries, and so he's a good one. And then for my quarter horses, Chihuahua, I always loved riding her because she gave 110% every time she ran. Every time. For thoroughbreds, there's been several because I've been lucky to ride some pretty nice thoroughbreds in some graded stakes races and done really good. And even if you don't win, you're on second, it still feels really good.
The Arabian Horse Association has partnered with Arapahoe Park to bring you Arabian Horse Day at Arapahoe Park on June 18th. Come out to experience a morning trail ride by Colorado Horse Council, a behind-the-scenes tail tour where you can meet a real Arabian racehorse, enjoy a lunch while watching horse races, and make sure to enter the numerous raffle contests. Admission is $15. Kids 12 and under are $7.50. Tickets available day of the event. For more information, go to arabianhorses.org/Arabian Horse Day. You won't want to miss this.
The 2016 live horse racing season in Colorado at Arapahoe Park from May 20th to August 14th. Racing takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special holiday racing on Mondays for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Post time for the first race each day is at 1:00 p.m. For more information, visit myhighracing.com and facebook.com/Arapahoe Racing. Arapahoe Park, where horses come first. So for Paddy's Day, you win a lot of big races, and one of the races you get to go to is in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
What was the experience like riding in Abu Dhabi in a €1 million race with Arabian racing being really at the center of that culture?
It was, everybody there was amazing. The people, the sheiks, everybody was just so friendly, and it was a really great experience. And it was awesome to ride with so many amazing riders from all over the world, because, you know, we had people from France, England, Africa, like everywhere around the world. So that was pretty cool to ride with them.
With the jockeys there from all around the world, did you talk to them and did you share? Is there a different riding style, for example, that you see the French jockeys using versus the United States?
Well, yeah, because they have a little more European style. But,
which means?
They do, I don't know, how do they describe it? I want to say they jump around more, but they're very, like, they use their bodies a lot more. But
so
those
more
guys,
active in the saddle.
Yeah, a lot more active in the saddle. But everything's pretty much the same, because those guys have been everywhere too. It wasn't like they'd never been anywhere. Those guys go all over the world riding.
The Darley Awards, that's the award show for the top Arabian horses and jockeys and trainers and owners. And you were a Darley Award winner. What Darley Award did you win?
I won Jockey, North American Jockey of the Year.
Top Arabian Jockey of the Year. So after all the work that went into it.
A lot of work went into it. A lot of traveling. I went everywhere last year. I went a lot of different places. Plus, I won the Sheikh Mansour Fitma International Female of the World. I won the international award too.
So the top female Arabian jockey, not just
the
United States, but the top jockey in the United States for Arabians and the top female jockey for
out of
Arabians
86 countries.
In the whole world.
Yeah, out of 86 countries, I won that too, which was really unexpected. They say they never nominated it. Like sometimes the U.S. people get nominated, but it was a real honor to win that.
We have a guest here in the interview. Who is this?
That's Daisy.
Daisy,
That's my
come
dog.
on up here.
Come here. Jump, jump. Jump, jump.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy goes everywhere with me.
About all your travels. So tell us about some of the places where you and Daisy have been. Maybe some of the more, you've been here in Colorado, but some of the crazier adventures that you've had. Sunland in New Mexico.
Houston, Lone Star. Where else is Daisy? Daisy didn't get to go to California. That's about it. She's in here, like a lot here. Where else is Daisy? She's probably gone some other places I can't think of. But yeah, she pretty much goes everywhere with me.
To be a female jockey in a sport that's mostly men, how do you hold your own?
I think I've always felt like most of the guys respect me, so it's not even a female male thing for me, because in horse riding it's always been like that. It's always been a female male thing, and you're usually the minority. Like the higher level you go in riding, in any riding, as a woman you're usually the minority, because there's a lot of great male rodeo guys and there's a lot of great male show jumpers. So it's never bothered me.
It's a sport. It's one of the only sports where males and females can compete on the same
Yeah,
level,
equally.
and you definitely held your own.
Yeah, no, I've been really lucky. I wouldn't say I'm like the greatest winner or greatest rider ever, but I've always been consistent. I'm consistent in the money. I don't always get to ride the best horses, but I pull a rabbit out of my hat on some of them long shots, and no, I've been really lucky.
When you first started with the show jumping, did you have expectations of where you'd be?
Well, I wanted to be in the Olympics. That was one thing, and that's still a dream. I'd still like to go.
For
show
kidding,
jumping.
wow.
Yeah, because I know people that are 60 years old and that was their first Olympics as a show jumper. So yeah, no, there's still time. There's still time. Yeah, I would love to do that.
So then to race riding, what were your expectations when you went into race riding?
Oh, I think like anybody, everyone wants to win the Kentucky Derby. Me, of course, I'm like, I want to win the All-American. Like any of those, any big races, those are your dreams. That's where you want to get to, is you want to go and ride those big races, because that's what makes or breaks you, your career. Because you see a lot of guys that they never make it and you wonder why they keep going. But it's that drive for those bigger races, because they still have that hope that they'll get there.
And you're on your way, you're conquering different aspects of horse riding, top of the Arabian world.
Yeah, that wasn't really a plan, but yeah, it was great. I'm happy I did it, because it was something I wanted to do.
Well, we'll be following. Thank you for allowing us into the behind the scenes
thank you.
And following your race riding career, and then we'll be following your show jumping career and expecting bigger and bigger things from you and especially from Daisy.
Daisy.
You got that? All right, we're good. States Open Race 6 is underway. Want to experience what it's like to ride on a racetrack? Well, maybe not this fast, but you can ride on a trail that includes Arapahoe Park during the Colorado Horse Council's Heritage Ride on Saturday, June 18th. Then enjoy a day at the races as the Arabian Horse Association hosts the Arabian Horse Day at Arapahoe Park, with behind-the-scenes tours and activities for the whole family. Saturday, June 18th at Arapahoe Park. The 2016 Triple Crown culminated with a thrilling stretch duel between Creator and Destin in the 148th Belmont Stakes at Belmont Park in New York.
Destin and Creator, these two come down to the line together, too close to goal!
While Creator got up by just a nose, Frosted may have turned in the performance of the day when he ran like he was possessed by Secretariat's ghost in dominating the 1 mile, $1.25 million Metropolitan Handicap by 14 1/4 lengths. The Belmont Stakes is the longest of the Triple Crown races at 1.5 miles. Arapahoe Park Stakes races on Belmont weekend were for sprinters at 6 furlongs, half the distance of the Belmont. Saturday's Aspen Stakes for Colorado breds featured a full field of 12. There were 3 former winners of the race, EF5 from 2011 and 2013, Wally Van from 2012, and Magical Twist from 2015. Before this season, Banker Bob hadn't run in a stakes race since 2013. At the beginning of the year, he was competing in claiming races for as low as $5,000. But the Mason King homebred, trained by Juan Chavez Ortega, has found a new lease on life as a 6-year-old. Alfredo Triana Jr. was aboard. He's a young 22-year-old jockey from Tolar, Texas, in the midst of a breakout season in his 3rd year riding full-time.
He broke good. I didn't want him to be able to lead, so I kind of set him back. And I just stayed right behind those 2 leaders. And come from home, he kicked clear when I asked him, and he ran a real big race.
Banker Bob now has Fast But Furious in his sights, and they've kicked clear of Mr. Wild, Kitty, Wally Van, and Ebo. Fast But Furious with Banker Bob closing quickly, and Banker Bob and Alfredo Triana Jr. come through to take the lead. Banker Bob cashes in the Aspen Stakes.
He's nice. I mean, he's maturing, and I mean, he's just getting better and better. And it was nice to ride him back because he was actually my first thoroughbred win.
Banker Bob has now won 5 races in 7 starts in 2016. The cherry on top came in the next race as Awfully Royal provided trainer Juan Chavez Ortega with 4 winners and jockey Alfredo Triana Jr. with 5 winners for the day.
Great feeling. I mean, they just keep on coming, and I got my adrenaline going, just kept on riding good.
On Sunday, Hester dominated the Cobra Distaff Sprint sponsored by MKP Enterprises by 15 1/4 lengths. Jockey Carl Williams is nicknamed The Truth, like the boxer with the same name who once challenged Mike Tyson and Larry Holmes for the heavyweight title. Hester and Williams delivered a knockout punch around the far turn. Hester ups the ante in front and opens up 6 lengths on the field. TM Madame ranging up to the outside of My Vaz is Hot and then Thoroleap and Miss Paradise. But turning into the home stretch, it's Hester's race to lose. Hester comes inside the final furlong. Carl Williams looks over the shoulder, and it's a long gap back to TM Madame in second place. Hester processioning into the final furlong, well clear in the Cobra Distaff Sprint. Hester going on to a dominant performance for Carl Williams. The weekend finished with a valuable life lesson played out on the racetrack. Jockey Tracy Hebert fell off the Tizzler in the Molly Brown Stakes. The race was won by Broken Loving It, who provided trainer Stetson Rushton and owner David Lebsock with their first stakes success. Legendary Green Bay Packers coach Vince Lombardi said, "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up." Jockey Tracy Hebert got up and won the final race of the weekend. Shepherd's Pride will hold on and give Tracy Hebert 3 wins today. So that's our trip around the world of horse racing, also focusing on the big races nationally from Belmont Park, as well as the big races in Colorado at Arapahoe Park. Until your next time out at the races, I'm Jonathan Horowitz. Keep picking winners.